Some of you may have known that I have purchased one of the most rare Nintendo Switch Collector Edition in the whole world. One of the most rare Switch games ever. And I'm talking about Fox in the Forest. I needed this in my collection. I needed it. The game is, according to the gamer, the 8th most rare Nintendo Switch / collector in the whole world. You could get it around I paid almost $400 for it, and you can get the standard version for around $250. So it's crazy. It's crazy expensive. The reason why this is so expensive is because that it was released at the beginning of Nintendo Switch, and the game is by bonus level, but the physical version is by strictly limited games, and they made some rare games where you only could get around 1,000 copies to 3,000 copies. And this was the first print they ever made. This is the first release strictly limited games have ever made for the Nintendo Switch. And there are only 1,000 in the whole world. So yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. But is the game worth all that money? Is it worth $400? Is it worth $250 to just get the physical version? Or could you just buy it as a digital game for around $20? But you know me, I want it physical in my collection. I'm so happy to get this in my collection. And I have played, I have bought it digitally. I will keep this sealed. I bought it digitally and I'll play it. And there will come a walkthrough of the whole game. Let's begin. Here is the review of Fox in the Forest. Fox in Forest is a Kickstarter project made by Bonus Level. The game is a love letter to the early 90s, back when the Super Nintendo was the shit. The game oozes charm, and I was captivated from the start by the beautiful pixel graphic and the many colors that pop in the game. You play as Rick, the fox, who is looking for a good lunch. However, the otherwise planned lunch, the bird, managed to stop him from eating it, and instead makes him help save the forest they live in. As you can probably already hear, the story is not an important part of the game, but it still managed to tell a cute, sweet story that makes you enjoy the characters. To save the forest, you must master the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall and winter. Fight tough enemies with your knife and bow, which can be upgraded along the way. Find hidden collectibles and defeat impressive bosses. The game has many good ideas along the way that twist up the gameplay. Everything from levels where you are chased by an enemy and have to run fast to escape, to shoot 'em ups, and to classic 2D levels where you have to explore every nook and cranny to find treasures, to upgrade your weapons, lives, magic and learn new moves. The game's most unique idea is that you can change the seasons, but unfortunately that part could have been used so much better, sadly. The season mechanics in Fox in Forest is a brilliant idea, but sadly I don't think they use it that well. They could use it a lot better, and it's so sad because I think it's a brilliant idea. I haven't seen any games playing around with the seasons before. There probably is other games that are playing around with the seasons, but I haven't played them. And I think it's a good twist to a 2D platformer, where you take the old school things in the game and twist it up with changing the seasons. So the problem in Fox in the Forest and the season mechanics is that you can only change between 2 seasons in every level. And as an example, you are playing around in a summer level, and you come through a lake, and then the fox can't swim in a long time, so you can change the summer seasons to winter, and then you can walk on the water. And it's a great mechanic to solve puzzles, because maybe you can see a collectibles on the other side of the river. Another example, you are playing a forest level where there are leaves on the trees, and you can see there are some collectibles behind the leaves, but you can't see them exactly, so you can change the season over to fall, and then all the leaves are gone, and you can see the platforms, you can see all the collectibles and things like that. But sadly, you can only change between 2 seasons in every level, and I don't understand it, because the puzzle mechanic is not that interesting. Because if you see a collectibles and you can't get it, there are probably only one way to get it, and that's to change the season to the other season you can get to. So if you have all 4 seasons that you could change to in every level, I think they could have used the mechanics a much better. And and sometimes you couldn't figure out what seasons do I have to use to come to this collectibles, and maybe you could okay, let's see. You have the collectibles up in a tree, as an example. You see collectible up in the treetop. You are down on the ground, but before you can come over to the tree, you have to cross a lake, but you can't cross the lake because there are too much water and there are many fish in the water. So you have to change it to winter seasons. Then you can walk over the water and get to the tree. And then you can't climb the tree because there are leaves all over the place, so you have to change it to fall, so you can rip the trees from leaves, and you can jump around the platforms. And then in the end you can change it to summer because you need the sunshine to shine on a ice cube so it melts, and then you can get the collectibles, things like that. I think it's that you don't play around with all 4 seasons in every level. I think it would be a great mechanic. Maybe they found it too difficult for the players, or maybe they didn't want it to be a puzzle game and just a 2D platformer game to enjoy. But it comes from being a great idea to just a little mechanic that they are just in the game to be in the game. And I think it's sad they don't use it better, because if they really have made some great puzzles with the four seasons, I think the game would have a twist that I haven't seen in other games. And now it's just a great 2D platformer game with some hiccups. Sadly, you know, I'm a music guy in games, and I must say the music fits the game perfectly and managed to make you hum along even when you are finished playing. Although this game has a lot going for it, the game unfortunately suffers for 2 big mistakes in my opinion that keeps it from being a 2D classic. Oh, the first big problem, and you can probably see it if you see my walkthrough with the game, is that the levels is just too long. It goes on and on and on. I don't think the ideas in the levels is interesting enough to just go on and on and on and on. And so I'm like, in the end, okay, be done already. And yeah, it's sad because I really think there's a great game underneath all the problems, but they just make some weird choices. Why are the levels so long? They could just cut it in half and would be a great level. It's not that the last part of the level has some new mechanics or new stuff to bring on the table, and you're ending up feeling like, be over already. Let me just finish the game. But the biggest problem with Fox and the Forest is that it has some collectibles issues. The biggest problem with Fox and the Forest that kills the game for many people, and I heard many people have said it's not a popular game, but I heard that many people stop when they come to the winter seasons. And that's because you have to get a certain amount of season seeds to open up for the winter seasons. And you can't get all the seeds in the first run. So the game wants you to reset the levels you have completed. And there isn't many levels in the game, but the levels are so long, so they take a long level and put some Metroidvania elements in the game. And it's just don't work, because when I play a Metroidvania game and come to, as an example, Clash Vienna, you come to a door and you can see that there's a big stairway up to another room, but the stairway have been broken, and you're just like, oh, what's up there? I can't wait to see what's up in the clock tower. I want to explore that part. But in Fox and the Forest, it's just is just not that interesting, because you only see some targets with some different colors. And to hit the specific target, you have to have a specific arrow. So it's just like, okay, I don't have the arrow to destroy the target, and when the target is destroyed, there come some new platforms that send you to another platform where you can find the collectibles. So it's not that the level evolves. It's just that you get a new platform to jump on to get the collectibles you couldn't get before. So it's just like busy work in some way. And I think it's weird, because if they took out the Metroidvania part and just played safe with some good 2D levels and shut it down and had a better season mechanic, I actually think the game would be amazing. The boss fights is awesome and have a great puzzle mechanics, but they just milk the game they just keep milking it, and they don't have to. And I don't understand it, because it suffers in the end. And I think it's sad, because underneath all the problems there is a great game with some amazing graphics, amazing soundtrack, and actually a pretty cute story with some great ideas for the boss fights. Why does Fox & Forest need Metroidvania mechanics? It doesn't have to. It's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary, and I love Metroidvania games, but this part is just crazy. And it keeps you replaying all the other levels again. And if you enter a level you have completed and you have to find one fucking seed, the game don't allow you to just enter a level and get the missing seed and then exit the level. No, you have to complete the whole level one more time. And the level is so long. It's so long, and it's not that you can just speedrun the level. You have to still attack the enemies and change the seasons, because sometimes you have to change the seasons to come to the platform you need to come to before you can complete the level. So it's just busy work. You just complete the game one more time. It's like, in the end, yeah, you completed the game, but before you can see the last boss, you have to complete all the levels one more time and have the specific arrow you couldn't have in the beginning, and then you find the secret platform. Yeah, it's so crazy, and it's so sad they don't use it better. It's sad. Damn. My nostalgia heart was warmed by playing Fox & Forest. It's a really nice game for those of us who are missing playing 2D platformer that reminds us of the old days. However, if you have no nostalgia for the good old Super Nintendo days, playing through Fox & Forest will probably be a kind of frustrating. There are really many good ideas to be found, but unfortunately they don't come together with all things. I give Fox & Forest a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching the whole video. This was Dan from the P-Wing. See you very soon. And remember, check the walkthrough and play the game. Bye.